Hello and welcome to the Holy Hour Podcast, the all the time Cure podcast. I'm Gavin, and tonight I am joined by my trusty buddy.
Hey!
And son.
Henson!
It's Henson! Hey, welcome back,
hey,
man.
Guys.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
It's been a while since maybe the great hurricane of 2024, right?
Correct, yes.
Yeah, so you're good?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay, you
Are
survived?
you? Yes.
Good. All right. Well, we're here to talk about a new installment of 2026 Euro Festival updates, because there's been about 4 new shows since Tuesday when I posted the last batch of shows. These things are just rolling out, and this is our big attempt to get our head above water before the 3-show stint in France that is happening this weekend. So you can listen to this hopefully in line when you're waiting to see a great Cure show in France this weekend. So are you jealous of them?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is going to be a cool one. Did you have any of these European dates that you wanted to go to, but we disappointed you by not taking you to?
Ooh, didn't they do one in Spain?
Yes.
This sounds cool.
Yes, it was a good one.
Also, I don't know really where they toured a lot.
Everywhere.
So
They've covered everywhere in Europe. But yeah, we've watched some of the live streams together.
I know they just finished Berlin, right?
Yep, that was the last batch we did, and 3 glorious shows in Berlin. And tonight we are going to cover Greece. We're going to cover Bulgaria, where they played for the first time, and Romania.
Ooh.
And last night's show in Switzerland. So, yeah, we're going to cover 4 more shows. And admittedly, we don't have many notes on this one because, 1, there wasn't really any live streams of these. And 2, we've been busy, haven't we?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
we have.
Yeah, like when the bulk of these shows were happening, we went out to the Outer Banks of North Carolina to do some deep sea fishing, which is weird for us. I know this is riveting to all Cure fans out there, but yeah, Henson here is a big fisherman, fly fisherman normally, Perry style. So there's our Cure connection. So yeah, you're real into the native fly fishing, and so this was kind of weird because my brothers wanted to take us out on the big deep sea and do some tuna fishing and such, and we went on a big old boat. What'd you think of that experience?
It was crazy. It was kind of overwhelming, which I didn't really like, and our captain wasn't that cool as a guy. But it was still fun. I had fun because we did catch huge fish, and I think I also did feel bad for killing all the fish, but so we did have like 320 pounds
of tuna and mahi by the end of the day. And you know, that's a lot of fish. We were like, was it necessary? I don't know. We're not that kind of fishermen. Normally we like to catch the little guys, you in particular,
little trout and stuff.
Send them on their way, appreciate the fish. There wasn't much fish appreciation, was there? It was like, catch it, reel it in, you feel great, like Hemingway and shit, and then you pull it on the boat and throw it in the cooler real quick
and stab it,
and then the dude would stab it. I'm like, ugh. So yeah, we were kind of conflicted with that, but it was great just to have the weird, cool fishing experience with my brothers and your uncles, and we had one of our good friends, Dave from the UK, big OMD fan. Shout out, Dave.
W. Dave.
Yeah. so really cool just to have a good time with them. But yeah, it was weird. Not normally our kind of thing, but happy to be in good company. And you know, you gotta admit the fish did taste pretty damn good.
They did taste pretty good.
And we came home with a big cooler of it, so we're gonna be eating tuna for months, but so we can't really complain. So yeah, so that's what we were doing. I was looking at my phone and updating setlist.fm and following the Cure Arts collab chat, you know, when these shows were going on, but not really being able to take too much notes or find too much scoop, but there was some good drama that happened with these shows, so we're going to kind of comb through the little notes I have And I'm going to bounce them off of Henson here and see what he thought. We've been kind of just rattling through the playlist or the set list here and see, what were the standout weird moments that would be, exceptional if you were at those shows. And we didn't have too much correspondence from people on the ground for these shows too, so we'll use our imagination, but assume they all went wonderfully well and were amazing shows. So what do you say we dive into the first one?
Let's do it.
The Eject Festival in Athens, Greece.
Oh, that'd be cool to see him there.
Yeah, in Greece. This was Wednesday, so right before we traveled out to the Outer Banks. July 15th, show number 17 of the tour. And opening acts, at least in front of The Cure. You never really know. I think on other stages, lots of other bands. But we had Matt Berringer, I believe it's pronounced, from The National, who you've heard some of their songs. He's a cool dude. So that's pretty cool, doing his solo thing. And Nothing But Thieves, who sounds familiar, but I can't really recall knowing any real information on them. But they opened up, and The Cure would go on to play at 20... Oh, before we get into how many songs they played, previously on the Holy Hour, we were in the middle of the Simon drama. He had missed all 3 Berlin shows. What the fuck is up with Simon? Sorry, my cursing. Henson's heard it all before this, so don't judge me. So anyway, Simon missed all 3 shows. We had heard some kind of like bad clickbait, reviews online where they were jumping the gun saying he's dead. He's out forever. Eden has replaced him. And we're like, well, just cool your jets, man. It's not how it goes. And luckily, I think we all relaxed a little bit just from the Cure announcement before the show. It said Simon is almost to match fitness, but still not back, and Eden will play bass tonight. How did you take that news?
I thought it was kind of cool because we normally don't get to see another bass player, and that it's his son.
Okay, so you were down for Eden taking over.
Yeah, just for this show.
Yeah. So
they can't not have Simon.
So, and it was good that they addressed it. And by match fitness, even that's not really an expression I'm very familiar with the World Cup fever going on and all. I figured that meant like playing. He's almost to match fitness, meaning almost back to health. Like if they were pulling like a Mitch McConnell where he was dead and they just didn't want to tell anyone, they probably wouldn't have said anything, right? Yeah. They'd just be like, everything's fine, don't look behind the curtain or something like that. But the fact that they addressed it and said he's almost better, we were like, okay, cool, let's have Eden on bass one more time, because Eden's been playing with him on guitar and keys the whole tour, of course, but he's bumped over to fill in for his dad. And like you said, that's pretty rad. If I blew a hamstring or something on tour and you were able to fill in for me, I'd be real proud of you, man.
You would?
Yeah. So yeah, we got one more Eden show on bass, and so I didn't really fear too much, but it was kind of like, all right, so if he wasn't back after the next one, we're gonna really worry.
Yeah.
So let's look at this Greece show, Eden on bass, 27 song set list. So they've done that's pretty long. They got an extra few minutes on this one, so let's see if they throw in some surprises for us. As we dive into the set list, we notice that with Eden on bass, they've really been sticking to the bookends of Plain Song and Disintegration opening and closing the main set. For whatever reason, Eden wasn't playing Alone on bass or End Song. And, that's fine. Nobody's going to complain with a Disintegration heavy set, right?
Yeah.
So then we got the pretty standard Pictures of You, High, and Love Song. Beautiful. Can't argue that. But in that fourth slot, we don't have A Night Like This. We got Catch for only the second time on this tour. Lovely song. Love me some Catch. I know you like that one too, right? Yeah, so that one sounded cool. Great, and cool that they worked that into the set. Burn Fascination Street, Alt N, has become kind of a little rock triplet staple that's been pretty standard, but can't deny. Then we got the next triplet of Push, In Between Days, and Just Like Heaven. That's solid. Can't argue that. Last Day of Summer, still pretty consistent in this tour, but gotta highlight it just because it's hasn't been that consistent until this summer, and love that. Then they got a night like this, so they've started throwing that a little further back, which is cool, and it pairs well with the Last Day of Summer. Charlotte Sometimes, only for the 4th time out of 17 shows, so cool to have that.
Pretty cool, yeah.
Little rarity in there. A Play for Today and A Forest always pair well together. Shake Dog Shake came back for only the 4th time ever.
Nice.
On this tour. ever on this tour. From the Edge of the Deep Green Sea into Disintegration for the main set. So, yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, that'd be a great set. How would you like to see all those songs live again?
I would love it.
Yeah. So, magical night in Greece. Then they come back out for the pop encore. We had Lullaby, Hot, 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 which has been in and out on a lot of shows, but they got it in Greece. The Walk, Love Cats, your jam.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty consistent this time.
You're playing it good, too.
Yeah, it's getting better with each one. Like, it was a little, like, you could tell they hadn't played it very much in Miami, but it was still great. But, sounding slick and jazzy. Friday I'm in Love, Close to Me, Why Can't I Be You, and Boys Don't Cry. So no tour debuts, no new songs for Eden on bass was a footnote, because if you look at the 3 Berlin shows, all these he had covered at least once. But that's probably a good idea, because, give the poor guy a chance to, bump to a whole different instrument and then get a second crack at it, So, awesome. And I'm sure it was even a little tighter than the ones he played in Berlin even, but, just sounding great. Like I said last episode too, from the things in the clips I've looked at on YouTube, no like little slight, even if he was kind of sliding from a couple notes to a couple notes, you'd be like, whatever, give him a free pass. It's a hard role to just jump into, but everything I've heard sounded identical. And Colleen, who was in Berlin, even was like, almost didn't even catch that it wasn't Simon at first, because she was far enough away where it was like, oh wow, yeah, it sounds perfect, has the exact same tone and everything. So pretty cool. And as we move on to the next show, July 17th, Friday night, and this is on our big deep sea fishing day, so that's why we missed this one. Their 18th show, it was the Feel Good Festival, or Feel Good, the Dr. Feel Good Festival in Bulgaria. This is the first time The Cure has ever played in Bulgaria.
Cool.
Yeah, so all these years, people have been waiting to play in Bulgaria. But before that show, gotta for historic sake note that we got an Angry Robert rant on Twitter, which is X now, I guess. But this is all going down.
Yeah, I know about this one.
So he was like, it's very rare this happens, but it's pretty cool when it does happen, was Robert was going on a bit of a rant about the World Cup. Maybe he was just a little bitter that England lost and they weren't in the World Cup final, but I still think he would have been a little pissed about this. So basically, he just kind of went on this rant about the dumbass extended halftime show that Trump insisted on. And, it was like, nothing to do with the artist, even though he probably wasn't thrilled with whatever the choices were. But just the fact that he was turning it into the Super Bowl kind of thing and breaking all the rules of World Cup history and extending the halftime.
Didn't he also pay the team to bring that one player back that was in America? They got the red card.
Oh yeah. I don't know if he paid anything, but since he's buddies with the FIFA guy, Trump talked to the dude to overturn a red
that's
card.
That's straight up cheating.
Yeah, it was not good. So,
and they still lost.
Yeah,
so
it didn't really amount to anything.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of shady stuff, of course. But And the dude's like, just corrupt. So that was basically, aside from the dumbass halftime show thing, Robert went on additional rants of just calling out Trump, Putin, Netanyahu, all the big usual suspect corrupt bastards, calling them the real fuckers out there, with a call to the people out there to push back on these people, because there are many more good people in the world than bad people. And,
words of wisdom.
Yeah, you gotta love Robert. When he gets on a mad, probably drunken rant of whatever, he's like, his heart is always in the right place. So yeah, I do have to kind of admit that it was good that Trump did have the extended halftime show, because we were driving back from the beach that day, and we were able to catch the overtime, or what do you call it, sloppage time.
Oh, right. Because of the halftime, yeah.
Yeah, so we were able to watch the actual end of the World Cup because the damn halftime was so long. We had like an 8-hour drive back home, and
halftime was still going when we got back.
Yeah, so we were able to catch the game, which was kind of nice at the end. And but don't tell Robert that. So yeah, all that aside, the World Cup still happened, and I love that Spain won. That's a good political side.
Argentina's cool, but they won last time. So.
Yeah, and Spain, just for political side of Trump's going on these stupid rants of how he's all pissed at Spain because they wouldn't support his dumbass war or whatever, and the fact that he basically saying,
and then he had to hand
we'll never do any trades or anything with Spain, don't go to Spain, and then had to eat him up a little bit to have to hand the trophy over to Spain. So that was all right. That was a win as far as I'm concerned. But enough political podcast. This is Political Talk with Henson. Tonight we're gonna get real. Guess what? They're lying to you. We've been into the new InfoWars. Check that out if you haven't yet. But July 17th, 18th show, the Dr. Phil Good Festival in Bulgaria for the first time. Big news, Simon's back. Yeah. So, as we had hoped and anticipated, Simon was back. 26-song set. Just Mustard opened with the Subways and Wolf Alice. So a solid lineup, leaning into the Cure, a solid lineup. And lucky for us, since we don't have too many notes on this other than Simon returned and it was an awesome set list. What are we going to talk about? We don't have to, because our buddy Dennis was there. Yay! All right, Dennis. So we're going to kick it off to Dennis real quick. He's going to give you a front lines report on what happened in Bulgaria. So take it away, Dennis.
Hello, dear listeners of the Only Hour podcast. This is Dennis, and I think this is the third time I'm actually featured on the podcast. And this time I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about the Cure playing Feel Good Festival in Plovdiv. I'm not yet in Plovdiv. I'm actually in Sofia, the capital of Bulgaria, where I flew in yesterday. So tomorrow is the concert, and tomorrow morning we're taking a bus to move to Plovdiv. Initially, I was very reluctant to go to this festival tour, just because I'm not really a big fan of festivals, and I'm also not a big fan of the Cure playing festivals, just simply because it's incomparable. The festival show for the Cure is incomparable to their solo show in terms of the length of the set list and the show itself, so rarities versus hits. But as the day of the tour grew closer and closer, I became restless, and I decided to try my luck and see what shows are there for me in Europe. At first, I wanted to go to Berlin, but everything, like all three shows, were quickly sold out. The Cure were also playing in Poland, in Gdynia, for the opener festival, but I didn't really want to go there, and besides, we've all seen the weather. So yeah, it looks like I dodged the bullet. But then I found that this edition of the Feel Good Festival is actually the first ever edition of the festival in Plovdiv, so I decided to try my luck. And moreover, this is the first time ever that the Cure are playing in Bulgaria. So, why not? So I bought a ticket for myself. I think it was pretty cheap. It was about 60 euro for the full day when the Cure are playing. And the deal breaker for me was just mustard. I really love the band. I'm looking forward to see them live. I love the new record. To me, they are just the new embodiment of Cranes, who I absolutely adore. So obviously it's just natural that they're playing together with the Cure. Yes, so as I said, I'm going there tomorrow. It looks like it will be scorching hot. Yeah, Bulgaria is a pretty hot country. The Cure are supposed to start very late, 22:30 local time. And I think they're slated to play until 1 a.m., so 2.5 hours. I still don't know if Simon is fit enough to play, and I think, we'll see. Like, obviously, he missed the previous show in Athens. As this will be the Cure debut in Bulgaria, which is hard to believe, really, I still hope there will be some surprises in their sleeves in terms of some rare songs or the songs that they haven't yet played this tour. But then again, if Simon is not there, I realize that it will probably be very hard to pull. So yeah, we'll see. Like, I hope for the best, and definitely I hope that Simon goes, back to health very soon. Yeah, so I just decided that I will record my thoughts pre-show, and once I'm back after the show, I will record something after the show. Like, hopefully there will be some fresh thoughts and opinions. Yep, so let's meet again tomorrow, and hopefully there will be some news and interesting information for you. See ya. Hello, as promised, I'm back with some of my fresh thoughts about the Cure concert that happened yesterday. So basically, one of the reasons that I chose Plovdiv as my festival destination is that I thought it wouldn't be on a big scale, such as Pink Pop or Primavera or any other well-established festivals, and there would be fewer people and it would be easier to be closer to the stage. And I was spot on. It turned out that I was right, and that was indeed a much smaller scale than all those big festivals. So I came to Plovdiv yesterday at around midday, and the heat was already just something else. It was 35 degrees Celsius. I have no idea how much that is in Fahrenheit. You can look it up, but it was just simply scorching. And I'm from the south, but yeah, that heat is unbearable. I do not envy those poor souls that decided to queue or decided to line up, well ahead. And turns out there was no need for that at all. I approached the festival site at about 40 minutes before doors, and there was barely anyone there. Like, those few who decided to camp out early just scrambled and tried to find any shade spot or anything around it. And that whole place is just like a concrete trap. No one could do concrete as well as those communist Eastern European countries in Balkans. I've been to quite a few of them, And yeah, Bulgaria is definitely one of them. And yeah, those commie rulers just loved concrete, and that was the site of it. So it was called a rowing channel, but I don't think it was anywhere close to the river or to anything like maybe on the map. But in fact, there was this huge concrete bowl of stadium, and the main stage was right around it. So I was one of the first, actually, even though I came close to the beginning of the show, of the doors. I was very close to the stage, and I entered the festival site with no issues at all, and like I didn't even have to run. Just a quick walk was enough for me to get to the stage and be there in the second row. As I said, no issues at all. And like just when you are at the stage, you can see this wonderful stadium. As a matter of fact, one of my, like another big hobby of mine is attending those stadiums, just as I like attending concerts. And standing there and like watching these magnificent floodlights, that was a big highlight for me as well. Like that whole stadium was enough, was sufficient for me just to take that trip. So the first band on the list was Just Mustard, and they started really early, around 6. And I must have already mentioned it, I totally love them. To me, they sound just magnificent and powerful. And that proved to be the case, like just the perfect band to share the bill with The Cure. They played for about an hour, and not many people around me knew about them, but yeah, I advertised Just Mustard as much as I could, and everybody just loved them, and people started writing their name down, checking their albums. So yeah, that was a really big deal for me. So myself, I hope that I can find them somewhere in a smaller club. That would be just wonderful. I was not really a fan of the subsequent two bands. Like, to me, they sounded nothing special, but people loved them, and that was everything that mattered. This time The Cure started really late, at about 22:30, so 10:30. I guess that had to do something with the heat. And I was really scared at the beginning that it would be super hard, but it wasn't. It was actually very easy for me. Like, I didn't even sit up for the entirety of the festival, and we were allowed a bottle of water, and there were plenty of plastic glasses with water that were distributed for those close to the stage. And let me tell you that the biggest highlight for me was not even The Cure and the concert. It was just being around all those people and realizing how good the Cure fans are, how generous, how wonderful, kind and friendly and supportive these people are, and it made me restore my faith in humanity even for those 2 odd hours. Yeah, that was just wonderful. I met so many wonderful people. I met some guys that I knew from some previous concerts. I met a girl, and turns out she was from my hometown of Odessa. And we started talking, and we realized that we actually knew each other, and we met many years ago in Odessa. So what are the chances that we meet each other again, the front line at the stage for The Cure in Plovdiv, Bulgaria, hundreds or maybe even 1,000 kilometers from the place where we met originally. The crowd was very young. Like, it was probably the youngest crowd I've ever seen at The Cure. And again, one of the reasons why I was so curious to go to Plovdiv is that I didn't really know how big The Cure are there, or if they are even big, because I had a pretty good idea about, other Eastern European countries such as Poland or Czech Republic or even back home in Ukraine. But that was the first time the Cure played in Bulgaria, and turns out, they are big. Like the response was just simply amazing. But let me start from the beginning. I was standing to the Roger side, so closer to the right. So if you look at the stage, I was to the right. There was some kind of like a separation right in the middle, so I didn't really see the whole setup. So I didn't know anything that was prepared. So I could only see Simon as he entered the stage, and I was like, oh my god. That is definitely like just, the show is already perfect. Simon is back, and like everybody was just so happy. And they started with Alone, which I really loved. Like I probably prefer it a bit more than Plain Song, even though like how can you go against Plain Song? But yeah, I was happy to hear Alone. Yeah, and then that probably was the most unoriginal is not the right word, but yeah, in terms of the set list, it was really, very by the numbers Cure festival set. No surprises at all. It was the opposite of, the show in 2016 when they treated me with like pornography and Catch and Too Late and Dressing Up. By the way, side note, Dressing Up is definitely in my top 10 Cure songs, maybe even top 5. Like, how can it not be? I'm so surprised that people on this podcast do not rate it that high. It's a wonderful song, and seeing it live was just a total highlight of like any Cure concert that I've ever seen. Case side note over. I know, again, as I said, I am not the target audience of the festival. Like, I consider myself to be a hardcore fan, and I want to hear rarities, and I want to hear deep cuts and B-sides and Faith and Carnage Visors and God knows what. But that was a festival show, and it was the debut in the country, so of course they will play the big songs, the hits, and I totally get it. Like, I have no complaints about it. That was not for me, that was for everyone, and people just simply loved it. The sound was a bit weird. Like, I don't know if it was for everyone or if it was just for me standing close to the speaker and not to the center. But to me, some of the songs sounded, some parts of the song sounded weird. Like, I totally could not hear the acoustic guitar that Robert was playing, and that's why, just like Heaven, for example, just totally there was something wrong with it. But the band didn't really protest or did anything to, so I guess it was just me. But overall, I don't really care that much about the sound. So, okay, to me, it's the event that matters. I think Robert screwed up lyrics for Burn. I think he started singing the second verse at the beginning of the first verse. But I don't know, maybe he just wanted it that way. Yeah, so you've all seen the set list by now, and yeah, there were no surprises at all. They played the main set, and then they went back and played this pop encore, which usually I don't really like. I'd rather scatter those songs all around the set and end the show with like something, even ending it with Forest or Disintegration or Age of the Deep Green Sea is also totally fine. But yeah, no, they played all the hits. They played Love Cats, which I love the song, but I don't really like it live that much. But it was just accepted so well, and this pa-pa-ra-pa-pa-pa-pa got the biggest sing-along of the night, even bigger than Play for Today. Yeah, and Robert looked so bewildered, as he always is, about just the pure love that the audience gives to him. But now I remember that every single concert I've ever been to, he is like this. Like, you can genuinely see how happy he is that people love him. Now, one more thing that I definitely want to mention is that I couldn't really get the proper video of Shake Dog Shake during this tour, and now I can definitely confirm that silhouette of Perry is still there. And it gave me like a big lump in my throat. That's just how great it is that they leave him there. It's like almost like he's in spirit. He's with the band, and his silhouette was added last time when he rejoined the band, and yes, he is still there. That was just simply wonderful. So that's probably definitely the thing that I wanted to share. I guess that's it from me. They ended really late at about 1 a.m. and again, even if it was a festival show, I really enjoyed my time. I don't think I'll go to any other festivals this tour, or maybe even ever, for The Cure, but I hope, and I'm pretty sure, there will be a new album soon, or sooner rather than later, and they will still tour it, and there will be a proper Cure show, and I'll definitely go there. Yeah, by the way, Robert definitely promised to come back to Bulgaria. He said, I don't know why it took us so long, but yeah, he was definitely moved, and I always told you, try to see The Cure in Eastern Europe, somewhere in Poland, somewhere in Czech Republic, in Hungary, and in Bulgaria. Now that's something unbelievable. That is very different from a regular Cure show in the big Western cities or in America. The crowd is just something completely different from what you see there. It's a very young and very passionate crowd. That's why we love the band, because it's music for everyone. It touches everybody in its own special way. So yeah, that's it from me from Plovdiv, Bulgaria. I still have a couple of days here in Sofia for sightseeing, and then I'm flying back to Krakow. So that's it. Have a great rest of your time. Enjoy the holy hour, and see you. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, Dennis. Really appreciate it. Wasn't expecting that, and great to have a Frontlines report, and sounded like an amazing night. So, like we said so many times, like, just because these songs are like not tour debuts or anything crazy on paper, just being there in that crowd, how can you argue with that set list? And I just love that about The Cure, where it's like you can have 26 amazing songs, and then you're still like, but they didn't play this, they didn't play that.
If they play their most popular normal songs, it's still an amazing set.
Yeah, like you're not gonna lose no matter what, So pretty awesome. And I guess the big takeaways were that Simon was back, seemed amazing. He wasn't flubbing anything or sounding terrible. Like if he came back and was just like, ugh, dude, maybe you should take another night. Yeah, but none of these guys seem to ever miss a step, so that's pretty dang cool. And like Dennis said, super younger crowd was
that's cool.
Always cool to see. Yeah, it's really inspiring and good. And and the first show in Bulgaria, so anytime that happens, you gotta feel sorry that they haven't been there
Yeah.
in almost 50 years, but at the same time, cool, you got a good one finally. So let's move on to the third show we're covering, Romania this time, the Electric Castle Festival.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I don't know what was Romania.
When did they do this?
This was Sunday night.
Oh, okay.
So we were back. When did we come back? Oh, this was the night of the World Cup. This one.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
so when we came back on Sunday, July 19th and the 19th show. Ooh, did they?
Ooh.
Ooh.
Oh.
But, nothing too crazy happened. Spoiler. 24 songs, 2 hours even, perhaps the shortest one so far. And I think that was more of a, strict curfew. A lot of these festival things, they really have to do the real condensed version. So, sorry, Romania, but glad it's still a solid set. Let's see what happened in the set list. Simon's still back, and they're opening with Alone again. So, much like last show, since we got Simon back, they got the bookends of Alone and End Song now. And then they go into Pictures of You, High. A Night Like This is pushed back up where it had been before Love Song for that solid little block. Then we got another rock block with Burn, Fascination Street, and Alt End. Followed by Push, In Between Days, and Just Like Heaven. And Last Day of Summer again, which is cool. And this time they did get their highlight or rarity of the show with Secrets thrown in there. For the fourth time on this tour. So out of 19 shows.
How many times have they played it ever?
Not very much. They played it a few times initially when it came out, and then a good amount in 84, and then non-existent until, aside from the Reflections tour, they played it at the Troxy show. Was the first time it reemerged. So yeah, that into A Play for Today, and then into A Forest. So you had a little triplet of 17-second songs, so that's cool. Into From the Edge of the Deep Green Sea and End Song, which is always a good transition from the sounds of that into End Song. And with time running out, since this was the shorter festival, we got a more condensed pop encore. And this is what triggered my brain. I was like, oh yeah, this is...
Yeah.
So they had to cut a few on this one. Lullaby, The Walk, Love Cats. So they cut Hot, 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 or Nick Carr, or Let's Go to Bed, any of those that they would put in there. So after Love Cats, they still got Love Cats in there, so that's good.
Yeah.
Friday I'm in Love, Close to Me, Why Can't I Be You, and Boys Don't Cry. Filling out a short but sweet show in Romania.
Nice.
Woo! And they have played Romania before. I initially had that written down as a first time ever too, but they've played some festivals there before too. So not a lot though, I don't think. And our final show of this episode is in Wednesday night, Switzerland show, the Paleo Festival, that I have a bootleg from in our cabinet from I think 2004 from the self-titled tour. But this happened on Wednesday, July 22nd, the 20th show of the tour. And this was a 35,000 capacity crowd.
Wow.
Sold out, I believe. And all week, I think I looked at the schedule. It was a long, big thing. Yeah, on other nights, Gorillaz and Katy Perry were headlining. But on the night that The Cure were headlining, I didn't recognize too many of the other bands. We had The Last Dinner Party, who I've heard a few of their songs, seemed pretty cool. They were going on right before The Cure, but aside from that, do you know Young Gods?
No.
Do you know Max Baby?
No.
Do you know Witch Club Satan?
Oh yeah, I know that one.
Whoa, what? That one? So yeah.
No, I don't.
And all the other ones are things I couldn't even pronounce. So I was like, okay, this must be a Switzerland heavy bands or something. I don't know. But yeah, maybe you guys know those out there. Like I said, I know Last Dinner Party, but none of the other ones. seemed like perfect weather from what I heard. And Simon is still back and still thriving and settling into action and doing good. And this one was another shorter set. So hopefully they... Seemed like they compensated with passion, though. It seemed like a good vibe from what I could detect from various sources, that everyone was in a good mood and really rocking this one out. But it was another shorter festival, 24 songs, 2 hours even again, which is crazy that they could even calculate that the Cure songs into like to end right at 2 hours on the dot. It's like, how do you even do that? I guess he doesn't rant too much in between and stuff, so whatever you got the click track to. Very bare bones though, no frills in the set list, but plenty of classics. So let's look at the set list again. We open with Alone and close out the main set with End Song. So maybe we're getting back to those being the more main focused opener and closer, even though Plain Song and Disintegration had taken over for a little bit. Pictures of You, Hi, Love Song, that solid block, but without A Night Like This. Then we had Burn, Fascination Street, Alt End, another solid rock triplet. In Between Days, or Push In Between Days, Just Like Heaven, classic triplet. Last Day of Summer again, and then A Night Like This. So those two actually do pair well together because they're kind of those mid-tempo solid jams. Play for Today, A Forest, From the Edge of the Deep Green Sea.
A Forest and Edge of Deep Green Sea and End Song also go together well, I think.
Yeah, it's almost like
they're
three
like
epic.
Darker,
yeah, like all of those are like closers almost, you know?
Yeah.
Like where it's like, damn, that's just solid. I used to think it was just so weird because we got so used to hearing A Forest only being a closer.
Yeah.
That it's like almost weird to go into anything after A Forest. But yeah, with the End Song.
Just called End Song too.
You gotta, you can't play anything after End Song. Unless you take a break and then come back for the encore. And for the encore, again, we go with the not totally stripped down like last show, but enough room to squeeze Hot, Hot, Hot in there. So we got Lullaby, Hot, 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 Walk, Love Cats, Friday I'm in Love, Close to Me, Why Can't I Be You, and Boys Don't Cry. Do you think it's a good idea to put all these pop ones at the end, or is it better to sprinkle them in the main
definitely
set?
at the end.
Yeah, you like the big
because like
fun dance.
From my experience, like everyone by the end, everyone's kind of getting more tired because it's getting later.
Yeah.
And then they come out playing like freaking Hot 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 and like Mint Car and stuff sometimes. And
gets everyone dancing again.
Yeah, and like Friday I'm in Love and stuff, you know.
Yeah. And as much as we all love the moody stuff, if you like end the show, like the entire show with End Song.
Yeah.
Which is like kind of like sad and like
tired.
Going back to their car and they're like, what is the point of all this existence? Yeah. So yeah, another great show. Like we said, like you know, it might not look great on paper as far as a nerd thousands of miles away, like just analyzing the set list. But if you were there, who could argue with that? I would love to have been there and seen all those songs played live. So I'm sure anyone that was in that crowd had a great time. And kind of funny looking at all four. The first show in Greece, though, with Eden on bass, was actually more diverse in the set list than the three that had Simon back.
Oh, cool.
So that was my fear when Eden was playing bass. I was like, oh no, they're gonna play like these super safe sets just to, you know, but like that one was actually more diverse than these guys as far as rarities and changing it up and stuff. But yeah, so I don't know if that's intentional maybe too, to just give Simon a little bit of an easy comeback to recover with the short sets, but probably not, you know. I think it just probably worked out that the festivals needed them to wrap up fast. And yeah, so who knows? Gearing up for the home stretch here.
Where are they playing next?
They are off to France, as we said.
Oh, cool.
It's 3 nights in Nîmes. They say don't pronounce the S on Nîmes, but I don't know. I'm probably pronouncing everything wrong on all these shows.
Yeah.
Nîmes. And this is, the next big run that everybody's been wanting to check out. I don't know if they're part of an official tour or like a festival or not, or if they're just Cure shows. But anytime they play 3 nights in a row, it's a big deal because Cure's really cool about knowing that fanatics will go to all 3 if it's in one spot. So
they'll change it up.
Yeah, so they're cool about like sprinkling in like these little spots where they have the highlighted ones.
Yeah.
They'll be cool and swap out something different and,
not make it too different.
Yeah, because that was our initial hope was in Berlin. They were going to do like everything they've played so far. And it might have been the plan, but who knows. But without Simon there, they probably kept it a little safe just so they weren't throwing all that on Eden. Like, all right, and now we're going to do for the first time ever, Halo. It's like, whoa, what? Come on, man, help me out. So they might do something like that in France here, so who knows. Or, at least it'll be a little more diverse, I think, from night to night. And we'll see, though. We got a lot of friends over there for this one, and hopefully we'll get some correspondence. We'll get some good online reviews and such. And, super jealous and just, fingers crossed that our guys can keep it together and stay healthy, ride it out. What are we at now? I think there's like 8 more shows after those 3. And as we get onto the home stretch of these festivals, and I guess the last other non-festival ones will be the Manchester and Edinburgh back in the UK. So those are going to be big ones. And we'll wind down to see what this epic finale goes. But plenty to come in the excitement factor. So everybody buckle in. We're just getting warmed up, right?
Yeah.
All right, man. We'll let you guys go with that. Again, special thank you to Dennis for giving us that front lines report. Special thank you to Henson for being my co-pilot here and helping me with this one, so I'm not just totally rattling off songs on a set list that I was not at. And hope you guys are keeping track and enjoying the tour still. So we'll talk to you soon. I'll say goodbye to Henson. So, or unless you want to read the Patreon.
Sure, let's do it.
All right, let's do the ending here. We'll do the quick version of the Patreon since I just did this on Tuesday here. But if you want to be a part of the Patreon, we would love to have you be a part of the Patreon. Go to patreon.com/The Holy Hour Podcast, and you can be among these incredibly generous and kind souls such as...
Sorry in advance if I pronounced your name wrong.
No problem,
Craig
I do it all the time.
C. Jeff Hilton, Amber, Allison, Tom Burns, John Roberts, Colin, Craig Hagen, Jeff Cortland Jones, Donna, Sue, John Forrester, Dione.
Our old friend Dione.
Hey. Oh no. Namicio, Matt Ford, Letty, Tony, Ben, Coulter, Tom Johnson, Francisco, Arno, Chip, Nicholas, Shirley, Mara, Caroline, Brian, Sean,
or Sean,
Jennifer, Pete Roberts, Nicole, John Richter, Paula.
You know Paula.
Yeah.
Paula.
Hey. And
Andres.
Andres.
All right, and then we also got Kate. at curethreads.com, where she has tons of original Cure-inspired designs on a wide range of products, and is also in charge of Cure Arts Collab on Instagram. So go follow that account. And we got who's
Scott
this guy?
Kruger from the Sarlacc Digest.
Yeah, what are they?
Best Star Wars podcast in the galaxy.
Hell yeah, they are. And you can do what?
Catch their live stream every Wednesday evening at 8 p.m. on YouTube/FB. Facebook.
See you soon, Scott. We're coming for you. And then we got who?
David.
Yeah, he runs the Obsessive Geek on Etsy. It's an awesome online shop where you can buy 3D printed recreations of Cure album covers like this one over here.
What are the ones that sent you the I one in the keychain?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that was really cool. Thank you.
Yeah, Obsessive Geek on Etsy. Check it out. Then we got Dana. Freelance animation, illustration, motion graphics designer. You can check out her work at graphics.x. That's graphics with an X. And drop her a line. Then we got Tanya, who's going off to France. She's going to be at the Nîmes show. And
let us know how it is.
Yeah, I think she's gonna. So we're gonna talk with Tanya after she gets back. 988lifeline.org, suicide and crisis hotline. Over 200 crisis call centers all over the U.S. If you or anyone else you know is in need of help, reach out to 988lifeline.org. And of course, Lisa. We got Lisa. You want to say Lisa? Yeah, Lisa up in Dickens. It's a venue up in Canada.
Cool.
We can go see some live shows up there. Where can you find their events?
At DickensSYYC.com.
There you go. DickensYYC.com. And of course, you know this dude, right?
Chaz.
Yeah, our buddy Chaz. He has another podcast you should check out. It's called James Dobson's Bastard Kids, where he and Chrissy check a deep dive into the evangelical church each week, exposing the truth and craziness. Guess what? They're lying to you.
The only place where you can find the truth
is the James Dobson Bastard Kid podcast. So check it out. You can listen to it everywhere you stream podcasts. And that's going to do it for the comedy hour over here with me and Henson. I hope you guys are doing good.
Thank you guys.
Yeah, thanks for listening. And check back soon. We'll have a full France report for you of how the Cure does.
Yeah.
In Nîmes?
Nîmes.
No S. No S. All right, tell us if you pronounce the S or not.
Okay.
Until then.
Bye, guys. See you soon.
Talker.
Peace out.